Hello everyone and welcome to the 6th tutorial in our survival game series done by Brackeys. I am the CEO of Brackeys, and today we are going to take a look at importing assets, including materials and UV data, texturing, and models, primarily game weapons. I'm going to be using Maya and import from that. I won't show the process in Maya, but the Unity part I will show you. So let's open up Unity. I've opened up Unity as always. And the scene is just like before, except for one thing. I've made a new folder called Imports. So if we go ahead and double click on this, you can see that I have imported quite a few things. Now, primarily we're going to take a look at this maze. What I did was I went into Maya and I created a model, and this was just a simple sphere from where I extracted some faces and then collapsed the outer points so that they created these spikes. And then from the bottom, I just extracted out a cylinder. And what I later did is that I UV mapped it, meaning that I told Maya how it should put on the texture that I later created. Maya can do this automatically. There are also programs for it. This UV map in particular is really, really bad. But I am not a 3D designer, so bear with me here. And after that, I did the textures in Photoshop. And then I just saved it as a Maya file, just Control-S, just saved it in my Unity project. You could also save it as an FBX file. And this is important to remember. Unity loves FBX. Everything Autodesk related, it just works. With Maya, you can just save as a Maya file. I am pretty sure that you can do this with 3ds Max too, but don't hang me up on that. And if you're using other programs that doesn't know how to extract these kind of data, OBJ will work, but it will only work for the modeling. So only the model will be imported. With Maya and stuff, you can import everything. So just think about this. When you go through this, I won't talk about all the programs, then I could continue on. Okay. Anyway, so what I did, I just saved the maze. And when you save something, it'll just look like this. This is a sword that I made. It won't have any texture at all or anything like that. All right, so let's take a look at how we apply the texture. So what I did is simply, if we take this sword, for example, that's unapplied. First of all, I click on it and then I go to the import settings and just make sure that everything is as I want it to be. I want to import the materials. You can uncheck this if you want to apply some in Unity. But I made some in Maya, so I want to use those. You can do something with the normals, the tangents. I won't explain that. If you're going to make a light map, that means later bake the lighting, then you could click the generate light map UVs. Don't worry, we'll talk about this later, but generally for stuff like that moves like a sword, you won't you won't check that. Generate colliders. This is not necessary unless you want it to collide like extremely beautiful, but this is heavy, so normally uncheck that. Optimize mesh, that's a good thing. And the scale factor, you can change this when you import it. This is going to be a different number than what you see here, because it depends on what kind of scale your program uses that we have imported from and stuff like that. So, and rig and animations, you can just leave this. We could go in and just say none under the rig and apply. And under the animation, just hit don't import animation if you don't have any animation and hit apply. Okay, so when we go ahead and drag this into Unity, the scale factor is actually pretty fine with this sword. So if I go ahead and select it and hit F, you can see that that's not too bad. Should it be completely fucked? Don't you see it? Or is it huge? Then you could go into the sword here, click on it in the imports, and then you can just change the scale factor to change the way that it's imported. So if we click on the sword again, we can go ahead and disable stuff like the animator. You can right click and remove that component because we won't use any of the animation from Maya. And we could also go ahead and rename stuff like the materials. So every time you import a model, it will either import a material or create one on its own. So if we go under to the folder here, that it will automatically create wherever you import it. You can see the materials that it automatically imported. So we could go ahead and just rename this to sword texture. I have done this already, so I'll just call this 02, but this is how you would do it. And then you would go back and click on the sword, because right now it doesn't have the texture applied, and all you have to do is simply take the Photoshop file that you used in Maya or whatever, and mine looked like this, and just drag it in. And now you can see that we have some beautiful texturing or something like that. And yeah, that's basically it for importing assets. So then what you can do is you can simply drag it down here to make a preset. I won't do this because I've already done this. And I'll just drag in the maze that I made. So I'll drag this into the scene. And we can see that it's on the ground, so we can just drag it up and rotate it 180 degrees. I'm sorry. And we want this to be exactly where our other maze is. So we can go under the player, main camera, melee, and then the maze, and just drag this in and zero out the transform just to get it positioned. Oh, wrong object selected. So select the maze, new maze, and then zero out the transform. And you can see it disappears inside of this. And then we could just drag it onto the melee again. And if you want, you could delete the maze. You can do whatever you want here. But basically, I'm going to remove some of the animation and all of this. I'm going to redo this. I might do this off camera now that I've shown you how to do it. But I'll just go ahead and delete the original maze. And now you can see the new maze, and we'll just try to position this. And also, before I noticed that the maze was really too big, it was just too far away to be able to see it. So I'll drag it closer to the camera now, like this. This looks a lot better. So I think that this will do for now. So if we go ahead and hit play, it is stuck to the screen as always. And we could go ahead and just delete the animator component from that also. Okay, great. So I have an error. The maze of the melee system is not defined. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to play around with the way that our melee system works. Because this will be fine as long as you do it all in Unity and it's not that complex. But once it starts to get more serious, you should really do this in another way. And that is by creating a melee system script for every weapon. So let's go ahead and remove this component and then drag, then go under script, and then drag the melee system onto the maze instead. So the maze itself. And then we go ahead and double click on the melee system script and open it up in Mono Develop. And you can go ahead and just keep some of this animation stuff. What you can do is you can select it right click and let me just check for this. This is weird. Normally, oh, that was. Okay, so you can select something and you can right click it and click toggle line comments, and this will just comment it out so that you can later, you can later uncomment this. So you still have it, but it won't get used in the script. So this is really useful if you just want to temporarily get rid of something without having to create multiple scripts. Okay, this video might be long. It might be cut up into 2 parts. We'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and delete the maze transform, because now the script is applied to the maze itself, so we won't have to say which game object it has to go under and stuff like that. We can just use this. So we can go ahead and delete all the parts where it says the maze dot something, and I'll just go ahead and comment out the animation dot play attack also. So if physics blah 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 blah, that looks fine. Distance and this, and then the max distance. Hit dot transform, the damage, send message. Okay, so this all looks pretty fine. We can go back into Unity and then clear all these errors out and see if it's still working. So go out to our enemy and hit the mouse a couple of times, and it is not. So let's see what we have done wrong. It might be something with the centering. Yeah. So right now it's calculating the hits from our maze. So we are going to want this to calculate from our melee. So under the transform.position, this is going to be a new variable. So we are going to create a new variable, and we are going to call this for the system. So this way we can reference the parented system, this melee, so we can get the exact point instead of getting the point that we have applied the maze to. This might sound confusing, but you'll get it in a sec. So we'll use this transform instead of the maze transform. Okay, so the system, and then transform and semicolon. And then we can just go ahead and use the system.transform.position and the system.transform.direction, and hit.transform, send message. So this should be fine. Save this and go back to Unity. Let's see if we get any errors. We don't. And let's try. Oh, we have to assign the variable, so stop playing, and then just drag the melee under this transform, and then hit play again, and hopefully this time this will work. So click, and yeah, there you go. So now we actually have a much better system set up, because what this allows us to do is it allows us to create functions that are called on certain times depending on animation. And what I mean by this is one of you, probably some of you, but one of you texted me and said that he wanted to apply the damage only when the character actually is done swinging the sword or weapon, and not immediately. So a little delay. And I think that the best way to do this is the following. So, okay, so go under animation. And for this, I'm just going to create quickly a attack animation. So I'm going to click this red button, add component, and then I'm going to call this animation for attack with a capital letter as before. And I'm going to add keys to the transform, the rotation, so the position and the rotation. I'm going to drag the cursor out to about 2 seconds and then do it again, so we are sure that we are storing all this data, and we can get back to the point we came from. And first of all, I want him to pull back the mace as he's ready to swing it. So this would be something like this, maybe. Oh, I'm not good at this. So he, whoa, whoa. Well, that was unexpected. Let's try this out again. So we have all the keyframes here at key, and about at this point, he should drag the mace back just a little bit, and something like this. So just like that. And what we can now do is we can tell it that it needs to hit, so we can make the hitting animation. So this would look something like this, and then I'm going to toggle between the local and the global transform, as we talked about in earlier videos. It's really nice to know how to use that. Something like this maybe. So he hits, and then it goes back, and we probably need to make this quicker. Yeah. So you can just drag the top ones here to make it look a hell of a lot better. So I'm sorry if this is dragging out. I'll show you some cool stuff in just a minute. We just need to. So that looks fine. It's all right. So we'll just continue on with this, just hitting the flat button, and change this to. We could do one. Just leave it at default, and then hit the stop recording. Okay, so clear out the variable because I get tired of looking at all the errors, and hit the maze, and you can see play automatically is set. So we'll just turn this off. And all right, so if we go back into the animation, what we can do now is we can simply tell the computer that at this time we need to call a function. And this is something built into Unity, into the animation system. So if I say that this is the point, maybe a little earlier, maybe there, because he might hit before, I don't know, won't matter that much. But if I say that this is the point where I would like to apply the damage, then I can create a new event. So click this button here, add event, and we can select the event, and we can then in our script select which function it needs to call. So let's go back to our script and add a function. So double click on the Melee system script. Just go back to manually develop, and yes, now we can create a new function. So instead of doing all of this, we can say that if input get button down fire, then call a function. So then start the animation, and then the animation will call the function. So all the way in the button, we'll make a new function, and we could call this attack, maybe. Apply damage. I don't know. Attack damage. Yes, this will do for now. And we'll just make these 2 parentheses, and then the curly brackets, and some space. And now we can just go ahead and copy all of this. So hit Control X to delete it, and then Control V down here to paste it back. And so this will take care of the actual damaging, and we'll just need to tell the computer to play an animation whenever we hit fire. So animation.play attack, And if we go back into Unity now and select this key, we can select the attack damage, and it will now call this. So if you hover over it, you can see the attack damage. So if we go ahead, oh, we were in play mode. I think nothing, I don't think it mattered. Okay, so hit play and we'll test this out. So boom, boom, and then the object disappears. So maybe I should draw this out to make you understand it a little easier. So we have the script. Oh, this is the script. A red box apparently. This is the script, and inside of the script we just say that button is pressed. Then we want something to happen. What do we want to happen? We want the computer to simply play an animation. So play attack. And then over here in the other, I just pointed at the screen. I'm on my own. Over here, this is the actual animation part itself. We just tell it that we just in Unity tell it that when so when we reach a certain point in the animation, so at event, so when we reach an event, then we want to call a function, and this function is called what did we call it? I think we called it attack damage. So then call the attack damage, and then we head back into the script. So we can make some arrows for this. So this goes there, and then we call the attack damage, so it goes back. And in the script, we then do all of the damaging. So we then do the ray cast, and if the distance is met and is correct, we then send the message to our enemy. So over here we have our enemy, so this is our enemy. So we go ahead and say, oh enemy, we don't like you and you need to lose damage. So on the enemy itself we have put a script that just says apply damage. This is the function, and this is called when we get sent the message apply damage. And in here, health is equal to 1 less than before, or 20 less, or 50 less. This value is defined over here in the original script, and this way we can do everything very easily. So that's how it works. Okay, so don't save this. And now we have a much better melee system. So if you would want to make different weapons, several weapons, we could go ahead and just apply the same melee system script, and then we could just change the damage, so they will have individual damage. We can change the distance if some weapons are longer than others, and we can change the animations, and we can even make different functions if we want different stuff to happen. Let's say that it's a magical wand and you want big explosions to appear. So this is all for now, and this has been How to Create a Survival Game by Brackeys, done by Brackeys. And I've been working hard on our website. It is up, but it's not pretty yet. We have implemented a lot of functionality into it. Also, you will be able to download the scripts as I have written them so far soon there. So I'll give a link as soon as it's up. But until then, you can support us by going to our Facebook, our Twitter, or just subscribing and liking on YouTube. I just really want to help you guys out, and then if you want, you can help me out by just liking and sharing, because we're just trying to get out on the internet with what we do. So thank you, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.